What's good, everybody? Sean Shala Rosenberg in the building. Back at you with another video. Well, Kendrick Lamar. Let's talk about it. Okay, so this past Sunday was the Super Bowl a few days ago. Kendrick Lamar had his halftime show. And before we get into the video, I wanted to tell y'all about that, give y'all my experience and, my detail and my perspective on the Super Bowl. First things first, the Super Bowl, the halftime show was fantastic. By the way, I love the set list. I love how Kendrick, mostly performed some of the new songs off the GNX album and performed some of his classic hits. I mean, SZA, she killed it too with the Luther track, and then the all the stars, from the Black Panther soundtrack. They definitely killed it. The way how the stage was set up, it was so dope, and I really love how the I really love Samuel L. Jackson playing Uncle Sam. That was really important, of the performance. He did it. He killed it too. Got to see Mustard, getting his flowers. Serena crip walking. That was a beautiful moment for her because if you guys don't know, Drake has been going at Serena for a while now on his music. He's been sneak dissing her and all that because they used to date, and the relationship went sour, and then all of a sudden Drake's been in his feelings, been going after her ever since. I don't know like all the songs, but songs here or there where he sneak disses her, and then he's also sneak dissing her husband and all that. Yeah, the Super Bowl halftime show was fire. It was fantastic. I love the message that Kendrick was sending. But I have noticed that there was mostly mixed reviews. Now, in terms of hip hop fans, they enjoyed it. In terms of the hip hop culture and actual hip hop fans, we enjoyed it. But according to the mainstream culture, more like the mainstream fans, they gave a mixed review. I've been seeing that they've been calling it the worst Super Bowl of all time. That people would say Kendrick Lamar was so enthused. He wasn't delivering like he normally does. But what can you guys expect? It's Kendrick Lamar. I have said this to many people numerous times, and I have said this all the time, that Kendrick Lamar is not a pop artist. He's an actual hip hop rapper. He's more for the real hip hop. He's not for the pop route where it has to be constantly hit records, where it has to be played in played in parties or at the club. Kendrick is all about uplifting people, sending a message, being the people's champion. He's not here just for the fame. He's here to give us a message and lead us and lead the people and will lead the people to, not, I wouldn't say greatness, but lead the people to where they will have, I'm trying to get my words in. Y'all forgive me. Where he's trying to lead the people in the direction of what the future will be like for the world. I would say that. I'm not saying like Kendrick is this Messiah. I'm not thinking like that big, but he is like a leader to the people. He's kind of like he's leading us to the direction we need to go as far as how things are in the world, that what's been going on in the world. He's trying to open our eyes and show us as an eye opener to show what is going to happen. What is going to happen in the coming years in the future. I would say that. But there was a lot of people giving mixed reviews. You know, a lot of people were saying, "Oh, the show was boring." And then of course I did actually see like videos of the fans were so unenthused. And maybe it's because it was not the type of crowd that Kendrick is used to performing. I mean, it was kind of like it was just more like yeah, it was just more like the audience wasn't feeling it. But once it got to Not Like Us, that's when it started to pick up. But and to my knowledge, a lot of people are going to say, "Oh, this is going to hurt Kendrick and all of hurt Kendrick and Kendrick this and Kendrick's his reputation is ruined." Kendrick's reputation is not ruined. I don't think Kendrick even cares you know if he's getting a lot of hate and a lot of mixed reviews of the Super Bowl. He did what he did. He delivered. Also, Kendrick Lamar, people were saying like, oh, Kendrick should have never did this. He should have performed that song. It's like, yo, be grateful. We got a Super Bowl halftime show from Kendrick. Like I said, Kendrick doesn't care about hit records and pop music. He's more about uplifting people and leading people to see what it's like in the future. But anyways, I don't want to go too far. I don't want to talk too long. So, shout out to I think this guy Anthony Akins Jr. He dropped the video, and of course the title says "Why Kendrick Lamar's Super Bowl halftime show will be talked about forever." So, without further ado, let's get right into the video.
I believe the greatness of Kendrick Lamar's Super Bowl halftime performance is the moderator, Samuel Jackson. Sorry, Samuel L. Jackson, but Drake, you can hold the L for now. And this is a phenomenal, masterful performance and storytelling, which Kendrick Lamar placed the heavy emphasis on with this performance.
Open about storytelling through all my catalog and my history of music. And I've always had a passion about bringing that on whatever stage I'm on.
Uncle Sam.
Right. I agree with that. And even exactly, like I even watched the interview that Kendrick Lamar did too. When he did the halftime interview before the Super Bowl, before his performance. That's what I think a lot of people missed that Kendrick Lamar said that he was going to do more of storytelling on this show. And he did too. He did more of storytelling and sending a message. And then I remember people were also saying the interview was trash too, because people just want drama. That's what they want. They just want Kendrick to talk about Drake in the rap battle. He did talk about the rap battle, but he shed more light on the cultural side of the rap battle. He didn't talk about Drake directly or indirectly, because he didn't want to make this moment about Drake. Because I think Kendrick knew how if the media, he knew how the media will want to try to make this all about Drake, because, people just love gossip and the drama. And they wanted more out of it so they can get, if Kendrick did talk about Drake, that would have, everybody, that would have made headlines and everybody would have been talking about it to get views and get notoriety, can't get the word out. Basically, get more clout out of it. But let's continue with the video. Oh, snap.
Was played by Samuel L. Jackson, and Uncle Sam is giving Kendrick criticisms throughout his show.
Too reckless, too ghetto.
And those criticisms live rent-free in the minds of the American public. Kendrick predicted exactly what they would say, right, and he would beat you to the punch by saying it in real time for you.
The Great American Game.
The Great American Game. The Great American Game, of course, is the Super Bowl. And this is one of the few Super Bowl performances where the entire football field is utilized. There's not much to the stage. It's just Kendrick and these dancers running around the field. But one theme, at first I thought it was some Squid Games material, but you see the PlayStation controller. And the Great American Game could symbolize a lot of things. Kendrick is the main character here. He is a black man navigating all of the highs and lows that come with his existence as a black man in America. That's one part of the game. Also, being famous and having this much influence comes with a lot of power. And that power is a game itself, right? You don't want to scribble too far out of the margin. And Kendrick...
Yeah, I noticed that because when I saw the stage, I was like, you know... When I noticed that, I saw when I look back, because I'm gonna be honest, I watched the halftime show on many times, and it kind of makes sense. It was more like the PlayStation game, of course, with the X, the triangle, the square, the circle. So Kendrick is kind of like he's in the video game, being like he said, being the main character in the game. It's kind of like one of those games you gotta fight against, like try to win. It's like story mode. It's like a story mode type game. It's like the story mode in the game. There's like you got the exhibition game. You got the story mode. So we was in story mode. It's like Kendrick is trying to get through the mission. Every mission of the story mode. He's kind of like I'm taking on all comers on who I need to get past and who I need to get through to get to my main goal, in which get to the final boss. You know, I'm just talking, you know, I'm trying to get the point of view out. But let's continue.
Tends to do that. So for the game, it's almost like, hey, make sure you keep it safe. Don't do anything that's going to get you a flag on the play.
Scorekeeper, deduct 1 life.
So Kendrick Lamar starts the show with the G&X car in the background. It lets you know, hey, we're sticking with the theme. I'm giving you the present tense. And he does the snippet that he posted on Instagram. I need him to release this badly.
Love, my Gemini twin back power.
Oh, yeah, like, I think that's the GNX snippet, because I remember seeing that before he dropped the album. And everybody's been saying Kendrick needs to drop this, and I agree. Kendrick, drop this song. Now, I did hear that Kendrick is gearing up to drop a deluxe version to the GNX album. I don't know when, but Kendrick, you need to drop that deluxe version so we can get this song. Because this song sounds fire. Because this song is fire. The beat, the production was there. You need to drop it. Like, Kendrick, I want that song now. Like, drop the song.
Going up, no more handshakes and hugs.
Only thing matter right now is living right now, and I can't spare no feelings.
Only thing matter right now is living right now, and I can't spare no feelings.
Kendrick is fully immersed in what is happening right now, and he can't spare any of his feelings. He has to let them all go. He has to share everything that's on his mind in real time instead of trying to recreate something he did in the past.
I love being present. Man. It's my favorite. It's very hard for me to live in the past.
And one thing I want to say to the people
Right.
hating on Kendrick performing these new songs is you don't realize what great art will do.
Right.
If you want to perform your entire catalog so you can get those songs and albums more exposure, more power to you, brother. But guess what? Kendrick doesn't need to do that.
Right.
Good Kid, Mad City is still on the charts.
That's the thing. Bro, thank you. Thank you, Anthony Akins Jr. Thank you. That's the conversation that people are complaining about. They're complaining that Kendrick did not perform his classic hits. Like, why? It's like, He has songs already. Like the Good Kid, Mad City is still on the charts. I think I remember the last time I checked, it was like I think it spent over, I don't know, like over 200 or 300 or maybe, I don't know. I lost count, but it's spent like, I think over like, no, not 203. I just think like maybe 2 or 3 or 4 or maybe 10 years, or I could lose count. I got to double check that. But it spends so much time on the charts. It's still selling. It's still selling. Like even Damn is still selling too. It's still doing numbers. And that's the one thing I like about Kendrick Lamar, because Kendrick Lamar, and people have said this, Kendrick Lamar lets the music speak for himself. Speak for itself. That's what Kendrick is all about. He lets the music speak for himself. He doesn't have to do his classics at the Super Bowl. He did not have to do it. And you just heard it in an interview that he said he's more about the present. He's not thinking about the past. He's thinking about the future, and the present and the future. That's what people are not understanding. Let's continue.
Album came out in 2012. It has spent 11 and a half years on the charts.
There it is. Y'all see that? Good Kid, Mad City has spent over 11.5 years on the Billboard charts, making the longest charting hip hop album in history.
It's dominant because great music will last forever.
Right.
To Pimp a Butterfly gets mentioned with albums like Tapestry by Carole King, Michael Jackson's Thriller, Marvin Gaye's What's Going On, Sgt. Pepper Lonely Heart Club Band by the Beatles, Pink Floyd's Dark Side of the Moon. It's on that tier.
Right. Every album that Kendrick dropped, he doesn't drop it just to drop. He wants to, and he drops it. He released masterpiece albums. Charlemagne even talked about it in the Breakfast Club. Kendrick releases an album that wants to have a long-lasting impact, that is masterful, that is a masterpiece. That's the reason why every album Kendrick Lamar drops is always unique and different. It doesn't sound the same. It sounds different with a different theme. And I'm pretty sure the next album, if Kendrick works on his next album pretty soon, if he drops the deluxe version, he's probably going to go straight ahead and work on his next album, which is his 7th studio album. And he's probably looking for the next new sound for this next theme. And Kendrick could be talking about something that's gonna really take hip hop into a newer level than we never seen before. Kendrick is all about authenticity and originality. He's not about following trends or what's the hot topic. That's what this all is.
These albums last forever. You don't need the Super Bowl stage to promote that.
Right.
You don't. Those moments, those eras are forever ingrained in culture and music history. It doesn't need any flashbacks because we are all going to naturally gravitate towards great art. It's like, I hate to say it, a lot of the painters that died. You look at Basquiat, his paintings didn't get popular until he passed away, and now they're worth millions of dollars because great art never dies. And that's why you don't need to do your entire catalog unless your entire catalog is not that noteworthy. If your catalog is weak, if you don't have classic albums, yes, you got to do everything because that's the only thing that's going to promote it. But Kendrick doesn't need to do that. Right. Kendrick is focused on making G and X, this album and this era. He's trying to make that legendary, and he's making that legendary by these moments. Right. The next line I want to highlight from this snippet, Kendrick Lamar says, "You would not get the picture if I had to sit you for hours in front of the Louvre." All right. So this kind of goes back to my Basquiat art analogy, that great art lasts.
Oh, that is fire. That is fire. That is fire.
The span of time because there's so much to dissect. A lot of y'all have, not y'all, because if you watching this video this long, that means you have a good attention span, but the average human being has the attention span of a goldfish. They're not going to be able to sit through an entire performance dissecting a message.
But back at the picture, if I had to sit you for hours in front of the Louvre.
So Kendrick is aware that he's kind of preaching to people who aren't listening at all. Like, he knows, look, even if I sat you down for hours trying to get you to understand, you just wouldn't get it.
Hey pal, you just blowing from Stupid Town?
And it's just little things like performing Squabble Up at the square because you're squaring up, like fighting.
Squabble up, squabble up, squabble up, squabble up, squabble up.
The dancers were very animated. I love the part where they were stomping and you could literally hear the stomps on the stairs. Reminded me of Stomp the Yard. And then that's when Uncle Sam comes in with the, "It's too loud, it's too ghetto, tighten up."
Too ghetto. Mr. Lamar.
And I think this is very relevant because there's a TikTok trend that's going around where these kids, they're filming their parents or their grandparents' reactions to the Super Bowl, and it is hilarious. Like, oh my God, they are very out of touch. And that's exactly why, if you're a Drake fan and you're using this to capitalize off of the hate that Kendrick Lamar is receiving, you're weird. And I'll tell you why.
I'm so... Anthony Akins Jr., thank you. You Drake Glazers are weird out there. And I've seen that on Twitter for the past few days after the Super Bowl halftime performance. They have been, like, the Glazers have been scrambling to try to discredit and dismiss and defame this performance. They have been scrambling. They have been trying to dig up anything to get attention to save their GOAT. And like I said before, I don't think even Kendrick even cares if people hated the performance. He does, and, you know, like I said, and a lot of people always make this excuse talking about, oh, the Super Bowl is supposed to be for entertainment. We're supposed to be having fun and dancing and everything. No. When Kendrick Lamar announced, what do you guys expect what we were going to get? Dancing and having fun? No. We're good. It's just like Kendrick said, I'm all about storytelling and uplifting our people. And it's clearly in the Super Bowl halftime show, he was sending a message. When he said that, y'all, and I know a lot of people thought that Kendrick was probably speaking out of his tail, saying that he was going to do storytelling, but he did. He actually said he was going to do it, and he did it. This is why people don't like authenticity and originality. They love, because they only like, not everyone, but majority of people who are out of touch, they just want what's trending and not hearing. Well, you guys get the point. Basically, I remember someone commented on one of the videos that Kendrick was receiving a lot of hate because of the Super Bowl. Somebody said that they quoted an Outkast line. I don't know what song it was from Outkast. They had a song. I don't know the name of the song. If y'all can let me know in the comments down below or what the name of the song. But in the song, either Andre 3000 or Big Boy said they don't want to hear. They don't want to hear. They want to dance. That's what this is all about. That's what I'm getting. People just want to dance. They don't want to hear. Yeah. Let's continue with the video.
The whole purpose behind why Drake is getting exposed for lacking cultural currency, for not being an artist that's going to be stamped by hip hop purists, is for this reason right here. The people criticizing Kendrick's performance, they don't respect the art form at all. So you guys pretty much piggybacking off of that to say, hey, look, they don't like the performance. This is why Drake is better. This is why Drake is the best rapper. That is not a good reason to push that narrative at all. It actually ruins your credibility in the hip hop sphere to begin with.
Right.
Speaking of culture, the bell-bottom jeans is a representation of rebellion. If you do the history on bell-bottoms, you'll know why. So even something like that, I know all the moms love it because they love wearing this. So then Uncle Sam says, do you really know how to play the game? Tighten up. And then Kendrick does two of his most popular songs from the damn era. Humble, DNA. And this is exactly what people expected. Kendrick to perform the hit records. And he pretty much has America at the forefront. He has all the dancers line up to create the American flag while performing his biggest record. Yes, I said his biggest record. A lot of people think it's not like us. People forget that Humble is double diamond and has over 1 billion views on YouTube. If you do the numbers, Not Like Us is nowhere near the success of Humble or All the Stars. But people want to act like this is all about Drake.
Be humble. Sit down. Be humble.
And then going from the American flag while performing Humble and then switching to DNA, which is all about Kendrick talking about the DNA of being a black man full of spirit, is really incredible, actually. Phenomenal transition.
I got royalty inside DNA.
One thing I also want to highlight, Kendrick lays it out for you perfectly. Like, he splits the American flag in half.
The revolution about to be televised. You picked the right time, but the wrong guy.
This is why English class is so important, because people are describing the moments in Kendrick's performance as hidden messages. These aren't hidden messages. These are very direct messages that you should be able to pick up on. And Kendrick is running around like he utilizes the whole football field. He's immersed in the choreography, but he doesn't lose his breath. His breath control is absolutely nuts. You could still...
Right, that's what I'm saying. Because when I watched the halftime show, even because I was at a friend's house, I was watching the Super Bowl. And then when I saw the halftime show, and then when I came home and I rewatched the halftime show so many times, I'm kind of like, man, how is Kendrick doing this without losing it? He was sweating, but he wasn't losing any breath. I'm like, man, how does he do it? I'm like, man, I'm surprised. It's like, even in at his pop out concert, he was sweating. He was in a hoodie, in a red hoodie with a hat in the hood on. I'm like, yo, he has so much energy. It's just like, he didn't even take no water. He didn't take a water break. Like, he didn't drink no bottle of water or nothing. He just kept going. I'm just like, oh, this guy. I was like, oh, this guy is built different. He's really built different. I couldn't do it. If I was a rapper and I was performing on stage, I couldn't do it. I would have to literally drink some water to keep going. More power to Kendrick, because boy, I'm pretty sure he probably like that in all of his concerts or his tours that he does throughout the 15 years of his career. I'm pretty sure he's been energized like that. That's how you show. That's how you know when you're a great artist. You just keep going. You don't stop or nothing. You just keep going.
Hear his voice, you could hear the enunciation on all the words while he's running around and still being a part of the choreo. And that's what a lot of rappers can't do. That's why everyone's saying this is why Lil Wayne should have performed. Number one, You have to censor yourself on the football stage. You're not allowed to curse. The fact that Kendrick Lamar was able to change all of his lyrics and still make it sound cohesive, even when you take out the curse words, it doesn't lose meaning or umph. That's very impressive. Lil Wayne was not about to do that.
Right.
And also, the breath control. Lil Wayne does not have breath control, which is why he can't perform on the Super Bowl stage. This is not for everybody.
Right, that's what I'm saying. And if you guys don't know, go back and watch his and I'm tell y'all the truth. Go back and watch his Louisiana festival that he had last year. Look at that. Like Lil Wayne and shout out to Deleted. Deleted did a video on Lil Wayne's Louisiana festival, and Lil Wayne looks so spaced out. He looked spaced, like it was like he was. It's like he looked like he was trying to perform, but it just wasn't hitting. I will give credit. The Hot Boys reunion was dope, and the Big Timers were there, was dope too. But Lil Wayne's performance, it was just it didn't really hit like that. And on top of that, his moment was overshadowed because he kept complaining that he got snubbed, that he did not get chosen to perform at the Super Bowl. Lil Wayne looked like he was spaced out. And on top of that, there was something that I didn't even know that shocked me, that Lil Wayne had a teleprompter at the stage because he had to remember his lyrics. Because if you guys don't know, Lil Wayne has so many songs, and he even came out and said that he will forget that he has so much music he forgets his lyrics. And there was even reports that Lil Wayne himself don't even, I don't know if this is true or not, but Lil Wayne doesn't even do rehearsals, or he shows up late to certain places where he needs to be at. So that I'm kind of glad that the Super Bowl chose Kendrick and not Lil Wayne. No, this is no disrespect to Lil Wayne. I would have loved to see Lil Wayne on the show, but it just wouldn't hit because Lil Wayne, it was so like, what songs would Lil Wayne perform? Because like I say, he has so much music, and it will be difficult to figure out which music will he perform. That's the thing. Let's continue.
A lot of hip hop artists can't dance, rap their full verse without a backing track while sounding clear and concise. They can't do it. And then censoring yourself on top of that, no, it's not happening.
I do some laps, whether some sprints, maybe some push-ups.
Now, one thing a lot of people...
Oh, yeah, because if you notice, Kendrick Lamar really does that. Like, and because if you guys remember when Drake dropped the push-ups record, he was saying, drop and give me 50. And it's just like, okay. That I'm going to be honest, that the push-ups records was not really that hitting to me. I believe that the diss track was kind of mid, in my opinion. It didn't really hit because, yeah, the beat was nice, but it just didn't hit. It was just like, you're making fun of his height and then making fun of his shoe size. And saying that, you make fun of him and doing push-ups. Telling him you need to drop and give him 50 to top dog. Which is kind of like, and it's like, what is this? And like, and it didn't I was so unenthused by that record. It just didn't hit. And then people actually came out and says that Kendrick's been doing that. If you notice, Kendrick always does push-ups. Always does push-ups basically when he goes and has time to himself. He would do that. That's who he is. You even saw it in the N95 music video on the Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers. He was doing that. He was doing those push-ups. He's been doing that. And you just heard it right there. He will do sprints and push. Kendrick is like he's very active when it comes to exercising. He stays true to that.
People did not pick up on was Man at the Garden. Now, when Kendrick did the interview,
And by the way, I love that record.
Apple.
Yeah. By the way, I love that record. But, I mean, be honest, I love the GNX album. The album's fire. For all the tracks have replay value, in my opinion. That's just my opinion. Y'all can say what y'all want to say. I don't. Y'all can say what y'all want to say if the album was mid or it only had a few great songs. But in my opinion, the album's fire, and I give the album a 5 out of 5 in my rating of how I look at it. That's my own music review. It's 5 out of 5. Every song slaps. Especially the Squabble Up. Luther is my #1 favorite. I like Peekaboo. I love TV Off. I love Reincarnated. I even love The Heart Part 6. I love Wrecked Out Murals. All the songs slap.
Music, and then the interview with Timothy Chalamet, he mentioned Man at the Garden a lot, so I knew he'd perform it.
Man in the Garden, I mean every word on that motherfucker, man. That's probably the easiest record to write.
That's his favorite song from his album. And I love it. It's positive affirmations.
Crashing out right now, hitting six.
Me too. I love that song too. When he said, "I deserve it all," it's like Kendrick is letting us know he's getting all that hate, and he's like, "I deserve all this hate."
For me, did it with integrity. These boys trying to hate on me.
He's gathered around by his homies, and they're at the light post. And ironically, Kendrick is bringing light to his friends, trying to uplift them. You know, they're all wearing white, which I think could be a symbol of angels, or maybe just a group of people on the prison yard trying to get hope. But the light post is really important because Samuel L. Jackson as Uncle Sam comes out after Man at the Garden.
Scorekeeper, deduct 1 life.
Scorekeeper, deduct 1 life. He's saying that Kendrick uses his friends, his homies, as a way to earn points, right, with the culture. And he says that's a cheat code. And when you cheat in sports, you get a flag on a play. And Samuel L. Jackson hands out a penalty. The penalty is deducting 1 life, meaning one of your friends has to either go to jail or die, get shot, which is 2 outcomes of many men in the hood. And
right.
The reason why that is very important is when you watch the All Right music video, there's a scene where Kendrick is on top of the light post.
We gon' be alright. We gon' be alright.
They're at the light post. And ironically, Kendrick is bringing light to his friends, trying to uplift them. And then
right.
A police officer makes the handgun and shoots Kendrick off of the light post. And I think that when Samuel L. Jackson as Uncle Sam says, deduct 1 life, I just kind of correlate those two together in that sense. It kind of means the same thing to me. Not sure if I'm reaching with that.
Ooh, that was fire. I did not catch that. The man on the light on the, a lot of people were saying like, excuse me, a lot of people were saying, I was saying like, why is there a guy sitting on the light, on the top of the light post, and stuff like that. I had the same thing, like, why is there a guy on the light post? What's going on? But now that he said that, that makes a lot more sense.
Overall, this entire production reminds me a lot of a Spike Lee joint. Like Spike Lee movies such as Do the Right Thing, which is probably my favorite movie of all time, ironically has Samuel L. Jackson in it as the moderator. Oh my God, I didn't even think about that. This performance reminds me a whole lot of Do the Right Thing because Samuel L. Jackson kind of acted as a moderator in this movie.
Time out! Y'all take a chill. You need to cool that shit out.
Where he was talking about all of these things going on in present time, the same way Kendrick Lamar is. That's really interesting. I don't know if anybody, y'all, I'm piecing things together. Subscribe to the channel right now. Subscribe. Oh my God. But anyway, after Uncle Sam says deduct one life, you then get Kendrick Lamar performing at the X. Like somebody's getting X'd out. I still think this is going to be a song. It's underrated now. This is going to be one of the biggest songs on the album. Give it a couple months.
762s, I make them plain. I'm popping out your band, that's what my name.
And for me, this performance, the camera crew did their thing. And I have to shout out Dave Free, because Dave Free is definitely the director behind the scenes, making sure all these cuts happen on point. And then Kendrick makes his way to the ladies, and Kendrick looks like a damn R&B singer with his hand on his hip.
Ladies, yes, I want to make a move.
They're like, yo, are you going to perform that song? And Kendrick's like, you know they like to sue. They like to sue people. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to perform that song. I ain't trying to get in trouble.
You'll be hearing from my lawyers.
Sometimes you gotta pop out and sue niggas. But then they hint at it. That's my favorite part, is when the girls say, what song? And then you hear the dun 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 dun.
I want to perform their favorite song, but you know they love to sue.
That was fire. I did not, when I first watched the Super Bowl, the halftime show, I didn't catch that. But as time went on, when he said that, I was like, oh, because of the lawsuit. But now that I catched on to it, I was like, oh, he's talking about the lawsuit. Because as we all know, Aubrey Karen Graham is filing a lawsuit. It has that UMG lawsuit still going on over the defamation of the song, which that was anti-hip-hop. And like I said before, I still lost respect for Drake when he filed that lawsuit. Like, you don't file a lawsuit over a rap battle or a diss track. That's anti-hip-hop.
Yeah, that song.
Kendrick must really love musicals. Like, if you watch, a lot of the theater performances, Kendrick just gives off theater vibes. He's so animated. There's so many monologues, so many moving parts. You could tell he really loves the theatrical performances. And the Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers tour really showcases that.
Know what? I slow it down.
The funny thing is that Kendrick then does his most, I would say, safe records. He doesn't do all of them. He didn't do Love, which I think is a very safe record for the general public.
I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna stop it right here, because I realize I don't want to make this video so long. Yeah, because like I said, I like to make my videos between 20 to 30 minutes. It's been over 30 minutes, so I'm gonna stop it right here. But shout out to Anthony Akins Jr. for this video. And there was a lot that has happened, and a lot of stuff that I'm finally glad I got a chance to catch up on. It's just like some of the message that he has spoken, which I loved. I love this message. If you guys want to also check out the rest of this video, I'll leave a link in the description down below. Yeah, it's just too long of a video. I mean, not too long. It's like a 20-minute video, but like I said, I like to make my videos 20 to 30 minutes. So I'm just going to stop it right here. Yeah. But let me know in the comments down below, do you think that Kendrick Lamar's impact of this halftime show will indeed be talked about forever? Let me know that. But yeah. But make sure you subscribe to his channel too, as well. But yeah. But like, share, comment, subscribe to the channel. I really appreciate it. Also follow me on my social media accounts above. Also join the Discord community. I will be normally in the description. So without further ado, I'll see you guys on the next one. Deuces.